All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. got his wish today as the Cleveland Browns released him, and now the three-time Pro Bowler is free to sign with any team that he wants. Now, the Browns released Beckham after Odell Beckham Sr. recently went to social media and complained about Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield not getting the football to his son. Odell is having one of the worst NFL seasons of his career, and he is frustrated. You're talking about a guy that only has 17 catches this year for 232 yards with zero touchdowns. And this is a guy who, in his first year with the Cleveland Browns in 2019, was targeted 133 times, and he got the football 74 times that year. Of course, last year we saw the injury, the ACL injury, that cut his season short. And honestly, the injury bug is something that has hurt Odell throughout his career, as he's only had two seasons in his NFL career that he has actually appeared in all 16 games. Make no mistake about it, things just were not working out for Odell and Cleveland. And the bottom line is this: I know that the Browns have plenty of flash and pizzazz at the skill positions, but Cleveland's bread is buttered by their running game. And of course, this offense is struggling right now due to the fact that Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are injured. And I've said it since last year. Baker Mayfield as a quarterback is so much better when he is feeding off of the play action and he doesn't have to do things himself. And right now, Baker has taken a step back as a quarterback. And of course, as Baker goes, so does the passing game. So the bottom line is this: Odell wants to be someplace where he's going to get the ball frequently. And then on top of that, Odell wants to be someplace where he can do the same type of chip and dip commercials that we're seeing Baker Mayfield do right now. And the bottom line is Odell does not want to take a step back in regards to that. Let's not dance around the floor on this. Odell never wanted to be in Cleveland in the first place. He is a guy that wants the big spotlight, and he had that, of course, at the beginning of his career in New York with the Giants. He wanted to go to LA when he knew that the Giants were going to trade him, and that was not the case. The Giants sent him to Cleveland. So Cleveland is the furthest thing as far as being in the spotlight as compared to New York or Los Angeles. So now Odell, for the first time in his NFL career, is going to get the opportunity to choose which team that he goes to. You look at it, there are going to be some teams that are going to be in the mix, but I think the teams that make the most sense for OBJ going forward, I'm looking at the Los Angeles Rams, I'm looking at the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Green Bay Packers. Now, I know that the Packers are they play in an even smaller market than the Browns do, but the thing is, if Odell wants to win, Green Bay might be the place for him because you know what? He gets a chance to play with Aaron Rodgers. But you know what? We'll have to wait and see how that works out. I look at the Rams though. Odell wanted to be in LA in the first place. We've also seen a situation where, hey, you know what? The Rams are just like, you know what? Screw it. We're pushing all of our chips to the middle of the table, and we're going for it. I mean, the Rams, they don't care. They trade first round picks to get players. They've done that with the likes of Jalen Ramsey and Matt Stafford, and you see where it's getting them right now. Also, we saw this team make the trade a couple of days ago for Von Miller just prior to the trade deadline. So the Rams are all in, and I guarantee you this: with the way that they can play defense, the way they can put pressure on opposing quarterbacks, and the way that they have the likes of Jalen Ramsey to cover in that secondary, if they can get another threat in that passing game for Matthew Stafford, you might want to go ahead and pencil in the Rams for the Super Bowl come February if they were to get Odell Beckham. I also talk about the Vegas Raiders because I mean the Raiders need help in their passing game. We know about the tragedy that went down earlier this week, and of course the Raiders will no longer have the services of Henry Ruggs because of that, and they need a void. And Derek Carr at quarterback is a voice that, you know what, Odell will listen to. But also with the Raiders offense, I know that they like to run the football with Jacobs, but the Raiders can go deep and the Raiders can put it up top. And that's what Odell loves to do. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Raiders would be in the mix. I mean, you're going to hear about other teams, such as the Baltimore Ravens, the Chiefs, the Seahawks, and the 49ers. And for me, with the Seahawks, it would be good because, he's going to get a solid quarterback to get him the football in Russell Wilson. The 49ers, I'm not feeling that due to the fact that, you know what, I don't believe in Jimmy G as a quarterback to get Odell the ball consistently enough. And then the 49ers need to run the football in order for their passing attack to be effective. Putting Odell in Kansas City with the Chiefs, there's not enough footballs to go around there. You already have Travis Kelsey, you already have Tyreek Hill. Odell will get a lot of one-on-one coverage in Cleveland. Don't get me wrong, but he's not going to get the football that much. And then, people have talked about the Baltimore Ravens. I look at it like this: you already have Sammy Watkins and you already have Hollywood Brown. How many guys can you consistently get the ball to? And Odell still feels like he is a number one guy. Now, I will say this: don't know where Odell is going to go, but I don't think that he's going to be out of work for that long. But with that said, this next stop, it's all or nothing for Odell because if you look at his career so far, when he was with the Giants, he wanted to blame Eli. The Giants got him out of there. When he went to Cleveland, it was all fun and games, and then he wants to blame Baker for not getting him the football enough. At some point, you have to turn around and look at yourself in the mirror and simply say, hey, it is me. And it is this moment in Odell's career because if things do not work out for Odell Beckham Jr. in his next NFL stop, it might be his final NFL stop. And also, people are just going to look at him as a one hit wonder, or in this case, a one catch wonder. And you go back to that spectacular play that Odell made on that Sunday night back in 2014 against the Dallas Cowboys. And you know what? That is the highlight of his career. And to give you an idea, that play best summed up Odell Beckham's career because guess what? The Giants lost that game. So you made that play, but it was not good enough to help your team win a game. And you look at Odell's first 3 years in the NFL. This was a guy that not only was he destined for stardom, this was a guy who was destined for the Hall of Fame because of the numbers that he was putting up. And not comparing him to Jerry Rice, but I will say from the standpoint of being able to take a 3 or 5 yard slant pattern to the house, I hadn't seen anything like that since Jerry Rice in his prime. But of course, the injuries have derailed Odell, as has his attitude. And I think right now, at some point, for him to take that next step as a football player, there has to be some humility on his part. He's 29 years of age, he's in the prime of his career, but the injury bug always seems to find him. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens for Odell going forward. But the bottom line is this: the separation between Odell and the Browns was inevitable. I know that Cleveland is now down one receiver, but the bottom line is you are not going to win on your roster with Odell on your roster because the bottom line is you need everybody on the same page, and everybody was not on the same page. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Browns react going forward, and it's going to be interesting to see what team gives Odell a chance in their locker room as well. But the bottom line is this: the writing was on the wall. I think it accelerated when Odell Beckham Sr. said what he said. And after that, you know what? The Browns decided to cut bait. It is what it is. And let's see where the next NFL home will be for OBJ. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line to be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.